All right, today we're jumping into a real trailblazer in Pakistan's education system, the Shaheed Zulfiqar Ali Bhutto University of Law, also known as SZABUL. So what's the big deal? Well, this place is built on one single, powerful idea that basically changed the game for legal education in Pakistan. Let's dive right in. So, the first law university of Pakistan. I mean, that's a heck of a statement, right? And it's not just a marketing slogan. This comes straight from them. This is the core of their identity. It's not about being just another law school. It's about being the country's very first university that's laser-focused on law. Okay, so let's get into that. What does it actually mean to be the first? We're going to unpack that and really get into why being number one here is such a big deal. So, on paper, SZABU is a public university, right? It's in Karachi, a massive, bustling city. But that's not the whole story. The thing that makes it special, its real DNA, is that it's all about law, exclusively. Before this place came along, you just didn't have a whole university dedicated to it in Pakistan. Simple as that. Okay, but, having a great idea is one thing. Making it a real, official, recognized institution, that's a whole different ballgame. So how did they do it? How did they go from a cool concept to a university with real credentials? Let's check out its history. And you know what's crazy? They moved fast, like really fast. The law that created the university was passed in 2012. By 2013, boom, it was officially a thing. And they didn't waste any time. They even had their first leader, Justice Qazi Khalid Ali, appointed as the founding vice chancellor that same year. They were ready to hit the ground running. Now, for any university, but especially a law university, recognition is absolutely everything. Your degree has to mean something, right? So SZABU went out and got the two big ones, the most important stamps of approval you can get in Pakistan. We're talking about the Higher Education Council, the HEC, and of course the Pakistan Bar Council. Getting both of those means your degree isn't just a piece of paper, it's legit and respected all over the country. Okay, so we've established that it's official, it's got history. But you're probably wondering, what can I actually study there? And maybe more importantly, who's doing the teaching? Let's dive into the programs and the faculty. So no surprise, their bread and butter is law. You can go from your undergrad degree all the way up to a PhD in law. But look at this, they're not just sticking to law. They've got criminology, they've got business administration. To me, that says they're thinking bigger. They're not just a law school. They're aiming to be a whole hub for professional studies. And check this out. The people at the front of the classroom are a really cool mix. It's not just academics. You might have a professor with a PhD teaching one class, and then your next class could be taught by a retired judge or a senior lawyer who's been in the courtroom trenches for decades. So you're getting the best of both worlds, right? The deep, book-smart theory and the street-smart, real-world experience. All right, now here's a little something we came across that's worth pointing out. Part of doing these explainers is being totally transparent with what the sources say. When we looked up the current vice chancellor, we found two different names. Wikipedia says it's Justice Rana Muhammad Shamim, but the university's official website says it's Justice Kusar Sultana Hussain. So we're not taking a side here, just laying out what each source reports. It's an interesting little discrepancy. So we've covered what they teach and who teaches it. Let's talk about where it all happens. We're going to take a look at the campus, what the student community's up to, and their pretty huge plans for the future. Right now, the university is spread across two spots in Karachi. You've got the city campus, which is in the pretty well-known Clifton neighborhood. Then you've got the Shaheed Benazir campus over in Korangi, and that one is, well, it's big. We're talking a sprawling 50 acres. But hold on, if you think 50 acres is big, their future plans are on a whole other level. 250. 250. That's how many acres the government has set aside for their future main campus. Think about that. That's not just adding a few buildings. That is a massive vote of confidence and a huge investment in what this university is building. And it's not all just about building plans and local stuff. They're already making a name for themselves on the world stage. Get this. Back in December 2021, a team of just 3 students went to Albania to compete in a really prestigious international law competition. It was the first time SZABL had ever sent a team overseas. I mean, what a huge moment for those students and for the university's reputation. Okay, so we've looked at the history, the programs, the campus. But what's the big takeaway here? Let's zoom out. What does all this mean for the future of law in Pakistan? What kind of legacy is this place building? When you boil it all down, it comes back to that one word, first. By being the first, SZABUL carved out a special space. It created a focused, dedicated home just for legal studies. This isn't some law department tucked away in a corner of a giant university. No, this is an entire institution breathing, living, and sleeping law. It's a place for deep scholarship, for debate, and for forging the next generation of Pakistan's legal minds. And that really leaves us with a huge question to think about, doesn't it? As the pioneer, the one that broke the mold, SZABUL is setting the tone for everyone else. So what will its ultimate legacy be? How is having a university this focused on law going to shape the next generation of lawyers and judges in Pakistan? That's a story that's still unfolding.